Poet's work is to name the unnameable, point at frauds, take sides, start arguments, shape the world, and stop it from going to sleep. That is Salman Rushdie, and this is the Inspired Poetry Corner. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Good morning to you all. My name is Raul. I am James. I am your humbled host that gets to do this monthly recital that happens on the third Sunday of every month. This is not an open mic, it is a recital. It has a feature, and then we have, I don't remember the number of not ready for prime time poets. And somebody asked me that again, what does that mean, the not ready for prime time poets? Well, I actually stole that moniker from back in the day when I used to watch Saturday Night Live. They used to have the not ready for primetime players. And I thought it was a fitting piece for what we're doing here. So that's what that is. So we have our feature, and then we'll have poets that support the feature. This is a gathering where we get together and come together on Sundays. It's almost like our version of church, where we come in and instead of hearing a religious doctrine, we use poetry as a means to connect as a humanity and to speak our truth through our words. This is a place where I don't really care what your political affiliations are. You're welcome to speak. The only thing that I ask, I have no expectations, but I have a hope that we understand and remember what it's like to play in the sandbox and be respectful to each other. That's it. This is a place of love. This is a place where we gather to be human and to express our humanity. So I look at the screen and I see the beautiful faces that come to the Inspired Poetry Corner, and I am humbled. So I thank you all for being here, for coming out today. So just real quick housekeeping. Bathrooms are to the right and to the left. We'll be flying at an altitude of 35,000 feet, so there's no parachutes needed. The cabin is pressurized. It will be pressurized with poetry today. Today, we get to recite and we get to hear and we get to listen and we get to hold and embrace each other with love and acceptance and openness. So I thank you for being here. Like I said, this is a monthly show. It is not an open mic. The poets that are reciting are the ones that expressed an interest earlier, and there's some people that I do invite. And then being that I am the ringmaster, I tend to try to also invite others that show up, but we'll see how time goes. So not everyone that is here to recite, but we're all here for poetry and for each other. So having said that, now that you know where the bathrooms are, the exits are to the rear, right? In a case of emergency, please put your mask on first and then worry about your friend afterwards. And if your friend can't get theirs on, that's their problem. No, just kidding, just kidding. For those that are going to be reading later on, just make sure you have your poetry ready to go. Each poet has up to 5 minutes. If you go a little bit longer, there's not going to be this giant hook coming to pull you out. I know poets are going to be respectful. We've done these Zoom rooms before. When someone is reciting, please try to make sure you're muted. I'll do a job of making sure people are muted, so there's no interruptions like Roxy trying to bark and say, "Let me out for a walk." And that sort of thing. But if it does happen, please don't apologize profusely. It happens. I've done it as a host. So just a reminder, just to keep it, especially when people are reciting. Other than that, does anyone have any questions, any concerns, any comments? All right, you all know, fasten your seatbelt. We're about to take off. So today, on this third Sunday of October, we have the distinct pleasure of inviting a poet to share, to be featured. Now, this poet, during the daytime with her glasses on, is an elementary school teacher on the island of Sint Maarten. But at night, I suspect when she takes off her glasses and puts on her cape, she becomes a poet, a lyricist. She does voiceovers, all on the island of Sint Maarten. She was born in the US, but was raised in Canada. As she's a former magazine writer, editor, She's lived in the Dutch Caribbean since 2002. Her poems have appeared in print and online journals in Canada, the United States, in India, in Serbia, and of course, the island of Sint Maarten. She's been part of the anthologies Where I See the Sun and Captured by Corona. She's an author of a book of collections called Full Moon Fire. We were honored to do a special show where we had poets from around the world and poets from Sint Maarten help kick off the launch of the book, Full Moon Fire. She's just a woman of brilliance. We've been becoming friends over the last few months. And I just simply will say to the audience, put your hands together, snap it up for the brilliant, beautiful wordsmith, Marianne.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Raul, and thank you so much, poet friends, poetry lovers, and family, indeed, for zooming in to share this moment with me. It's really enormous, and I'm really delighted to be able to share with you work from a variety of quarters and different sorts of inspiration with you today. As Raul mentioned, I have brought my first poetry collection, Full Moon Fire, last summer, and I'd like to start by sharing a few pieces from Full Moon Fire with you. My cornerstone belief is believe in love, and that's not always an easy corner to hold, of course. Full Moon Fire traces the story of love through the phases of the moon, from bright to bittersweet and back again. So I'll start with a poem, the first poem in Full Moon Fire, from the waxing moon, How to Find Love. Love is not lost. Love has not stumbled on her way to you. Love has not had an accident maybe, or run out of gas. Love has not got chatting with a friend till, oh, what time is it anyway? Love has not sat down with a stone in her shoe. Love has not lost her compass in the surf. Love is not swimming in eddies. Love is. Love is not lost. Love is just there, beyond your reach. Love is the balloon that dances on the wind. Love is the expanding circle that skips away from the stone dropped into the sea. Love is the sound they say only dogs can hear. The more you reach for love, the less you hold, but keep those grasping hands in your pocket and you no longer have pockets enough to hold all the love that has been there all along. Love is. Love is not lost. Nothing as big and wise as love can even go missing. Love knows a thing or two, all right. Love knows gimme, gimme never gets. Like the mangoes in the neighbor's yard, platinum bright, like a new wedding band, filling the air with cinnamon, and your hands too big to ease them through the mesh fence. Love is. Love is not lost. No search party needed for love. You can't really lose love if you try. Not really. Love is not lost. This I know. You will never find love. And you cannot find love. You can only know what is there and always has been. But wait and see. Open your eyes. Open your heart. You cannot find love, but love will know you when she sees you. Love will find you because love is not lost and neither are we. Under the full moon and you, I want a night, champagne sunset lifts the moon, a million stars and you. I want a day astride the sea, watercolor kisses tattoo my lips and you. I want a dawn, warm breeze freeze the curtains, well-loved sheets and you. I want a night, jasmine in a jar, slow dancing heart to heart and you. Petrichor. Dawn clouds caress the hills. Desire showers our hearts. As we await sunrise, I vibrate with the light-fingered tattoo of the palms. You inhale me with the green scent of rising earth. Parched lovers in a steaming land, we drink together. Rose. When I want to hold you, I roam a secret garden. Drunk with summer dreams, I raise a rose to my lips. Thorns yield to my touch, for I know to caress them tenderly as a robin's pearls. Rose blush tints my mind like pale scent from your body when my lashes kiss your thighs. Butterflies thirsting for drops that cling to your moist stem after the dawn rain. Petals unfold against my cheek, morning dew cools my tongue, and I inhale you. Over the last 5 years, I had the opportunity to do some lyric writing as well, and I'd like to share with you a couple of pieces that were originally written for song. You're the one. You found me before I saw you, heard my heart before I spoke. You reached out and held me gently, long before we ever touched. You felt me before I entered, won the match before the set. You fell first, but then you caught me, long before we ever met. You said yes before I nodded. You kissed me before I knew, took my hand before I gave it, long before just me and you. You can spend 1,000 lifetimes praying love will find you, playing hide and seek with romance, missing what's right in front of you. You're the one I never wanted. You're the one I wasn't waiting for. You're the one I never noticed. But now I know. Now I know that you're the one. Under the waning moon, if you had told me it would ever hurt so much to say your name, like a voice inside me crying rivers in the rain. If you had told me I would miss you like the ocean craves the shore, my shoes would still be lying there inside your kitchen door. If you had told me I would ever have to stop and read the signs, standing at a crosswalk where I stood 1,000 times, if you had told me Friday night would drown the hurt, but one day I'd be driving past that place you used to work. You know I've always been the kind to live inside my head, work things out in my mind and feel them to the end. So when I took my keys to go, the hurting had been done, but then I realized our love was never really gone. If you had told me that you wanted me to speak straight from the heart, knowing that the silences were always tearing us apart, if you had told me that you needed me to read between your lines, your smile would still be shining from the pillow next to mine. If you had told me all the things I didn't know, if you had told me you never wanted me to go, if you had told me we could have found another way, if you had told me I'd still be loving you. After the hurricane, I went to your house, to the place we loved, but I could not find the mirror I gave you in our past life. It stood in the garden, surrounded by night things, signaling the comings of those who arrived blind. After the hurricane, I went to your house, to the place we loved, but I found only slivers of wood, no longer artfully wrapped around glass, now grotesque, like rumors spewed from lying mouths, just deep enough to reflect a footprint and a shallow glance at the partings of those who left unseen. Under the new moon, Kintsukuroi woman, torn and thrown to the ground, vessels shorn from careless hands. I am Kintsukuroi woman, on my face, valleys etched, one teardrop at a time. On my back, ashes of passion. On my hands, scars bared beneath faithless promises of gold. Breaks and tears, filled and fared with precious elements, all forgiven like renewed vows, more beautiful for broken, lost for better so. Patient forgiveness resides in the careful lines of gold that illuminate the damage and become my history. Nothing to disguise the vicissitudes of time. Wrinkles of joy and madness line my living face. They are what makes me beautiful. They are what you call mine. And finally, under the new moon, after I received a pair of pearl earrings that had belonged to my late mother, eventually those pearls found their way into the poem. Just as long as Grandma, that pearl's been in my life, the one that Grandpa gave her when she vowed to be his wife, always there on Grandma's hand, so crossed with lines and kisses as she pacified the baby and washed the Sunday dishes. I guess Grandma knew all right that she'd be leaving soon when she sat me down one night before our honeymoon. She said, time is right to say, I know this pearl belongs on the hand that you'll be holding there beside you when I'm gone. Grandma gave her ring a twist and placed it in my hand. Silently, I knew she wanted me to understand. That band would always tether our hearts in time and space and stand for three small words, little pearls in a place. That milky pearl kept shining through the years, just like the moon, and even though our love song couldn't carry Grandma's tune, I pray that you still look at it and gaze into the sky and whisper soft to Grandma before the pearl would try. I would take back all the pain and swallow all the lies for just one more night and day to gaze into. My heart would be your shelter. My arms would hold your world, and together we would keep the promise. A few pieces from Full Moon Fire. Thank you for that. Among the other sources of inspiration, to one who believes in love, the love of family, of course. And I'd like to share two very special poems that have found homes this year. The first of these for my sister Mish, who is in the audience today. This poem was written when she told me about her love of some beautiful birds that filled the Alaska sky where she used to live. And as she began her drive from Alaska to Whidbey Island in the state of Washington, I was inspired by her words to write Sandhill Cranes. This is not the first time I look for them, the Sandhill Cranes, but it might be the last time I see their wise ochre crowns as I drive away from their summer abode and south to mine, a place I cannot yet call home, but I hope for the best, fulfillment of the promise their sighting brings. I have always found cranes on the horizon whenever I needed their generous wings in my sky. Feathers torn and stained against forest pines, gray-green amulets from the east, symbols of long life and freedom, theirs and mine. With days behind the wheel ahead, I follow their vigilant example, like the legendary birds who held stones in their beak to keep themselves from falling asleep on watch. Caffeinated straw between my lips, I admire those sky kings and queens that dance 2 by 2, their voices rumble across Arctic ponds, and I pray their spirits follow me 2,000 miles. For soon I know I will stand on a raw winter beach and stare into the sea to find my sand-filled cranes. I would also like to share a poem that was nearly 3 decades in the making. Based on one of 2 premonition dreams that I've had in my life. And this is from my daughter, Julia Louise. The night I dreamed of dolphins. I knew you were coming the night I dreamed of dolphins. Walking with your father beneath moonlit veils of Spanish moss, so unlike the icy drapes that cascaded from our northern roof, I had gazed with joy and awe so many years before, as those sleek coursers' sign curved up the broad river. That night, I stood on boulders, staring into a sea the color of pecans, when from a depth where even my night mind knew no air breather could ascend, I watched a dolphin fly toward the surface. Mesmerized by that determined arrow, I stared as if into a hand mirror, when the dolphin stood tall on his silver flukes, held me for an indelible instant in the full sunshine of his gentle smile, then bent his strong neck and kissed me on the cheek. Unpleating my body in one move, I sat up, sure like tropical dawn that bursts from dream to daylight. I knew as I have never known anything before or since. You were coming the night I dreamed of dolphins. In addition to love and moonlight and family, I'm sometimes inspired by conversations, and indeed my friends know that I should probably come with a label that says, a bit of a warning, because if you give me any good lines, I'm sure to take them and run with them. A great poet friend and I were chatting about our days back in university, and I wrote this poem based on something he had told me about someone he met along the way. Our days in college, when many of us had the pleasure of seeking a kind of knowledge beyond books, called God's Will. It must have been God's will, those champagne afternoons in beds among roses whose flattened petals now tumble from the pages of my Ferlinghetti. I had never been a believer, but she whose name translates directly made me entertain the foreign notion of divine intervention. With long brown hair that strove to brush her waist, long dark lashes that grazed my skin so gratefully, undeterred, perhaps even inspired by our initial lack of a mutual tongue. Her long brown legs embraced her American dream. Another word was lost in translation. From time to time, I've also been inspired by the events of the news. This particular one, the story here in Sint Maarten, that is decidedly a story of love gone wrong. Domestic violence is a theme that resonates very deeply with me. And taking some liberties with the facts published in the news, I wrote this piece earlier this summer called Never Forget. You begged me to tattoo your name across my heart so I would not forget you. When I refused, with one stroke across my neck, you etched your rage into that same heart, hands, thighs, and ankles. You threw me, disfigured morsel of flesh, to the Dobermans behind the morgue, where my rust-red fingers splayed your name across the door of a hearse you thought bore my initials, so I would not forget you. You drove my car across the border while my torn knees and elbows inched across asphalt strewn with sequined dreams to the hospital. So you remember the morning I, your daughter's mother, refused to die. On a brighter note, I'd like to share with you love of my adopted home, the country of Sint Maarten in the Northeast Caribbean, a small island of 37 square miles, shared by French and Dutch. This poem, Osuna, was written last summer also in the days ahead of a Moko Jumbi Fest, where 100 Caribbean stilt walkers amassed in one of our parks here on the island. I call it Osuna. Legs outstretched, arms akimbo, Osuna strides through the village, as she has from the dawn of time in the beginning place. When she hears the djembe drums, her heart beats with pride. She remembers the salt spray against her face. The ocean's salt tears could not quench her thirst, even as two strong arms bore her to the new world, where she stands resilient, tall like tamarind trees, provoked by centuries of storms. Brighter than the moonlit night, rising above the darkness of the land and secret hearts, pouring forth her guardian light. I would share another pair of poems about my country, Sint Maarten. I'm putting together what I hope will be my third manuscript. I have another collection of poems called Moonchild, arriving at the end of this year, and I hope my next book will be called Rainbow Country, inspired by my country. When the first drops land on the windshield of my commute, I become a menace on these tropical roads. Not because the asphalt aquaria fill to overflowing, or the coastal road through Mullet Bay suddenly welcomes kayaks, but deters my little Nissan. Or the hillside has been known to hill slide into my backyard in cahoots with Big Mama Irma, the matriarch of climatic mayhem. But because I am known to be sunny, storms bring the chance to top up my cup, ever half full and expectant, like a swayed dog parked on the back shelf of my aunt's sedan, head a swivel with every bump of every childhood trip. Today, I have one hand for the wheel and one for my camera, and I am looking for rainbows. And I'd like to finish today with a poem that I do believe will be the centerpiece and perhaps at this moment the final piece of Rainbow Country. And it too is inspired by a great poet friend. So many of you I am so grateful for who have sped my journey these past several months, and none more than the friends who have really stood behind me and allowed me to write with their words. This poem, You Have Never Seen the Ocean. Is it true, love? You have never seen the ocean? You come from an ancient land, locked away from the sea, where the first hunters roamed in waist-high grass and climbed for days to the tops of cloud-wreathed mountains. Now you stand on the edge of this new land, birthed from ancient volcanic hips, cradled in the waves where the first fishers dove through spindrift to forage plains of turtle grass. Is it true, love? You have never seen the ocean? Run beside her with languid steps, outracing footprints indelible only for the time between the crests that endlessly erase the shore? Seen the sun caress the horizon, strewing rubies and diamonds that dissolve into the sea with a flash of phosphorescent green? Is it true, love? You have never seen the ocean plunged into the waves to bathe in her timeless caress and leaped through the surface, your smile effervescent? As you raise your chin, your mighty locks fling prismatic water fans into the luminous moonset. Is it true, love? You have never seen the ocean? Here, you will write windswept poems, breathing in the salty exhalations of our restless mother. By night, the stars will crown my hair, candelabrum around my head, shining on our table in the sand where we dine on each other. Long and lingering feast as Aldebaran and Rigel arc across the sky and the waves kiss our bare feet. Is it true, love? Thank you very much, everybody.
Unmute yourself, guys. Unmute yourself. And wow, show us some love. Give us some big love. Snap it up. Clap it. Woo! Do that too, Zimkanto. Yes. What a reading. Wow. Wow. That was what's the word? Magical. That was magical.
Beautiful. Good examples of the poet friends in the audience today.
We did so intensely. You are transporting us to a different world. Yeah. Wonderful.
And that image of seeing the ocean, and, you know, the ones today was very reminiscent of those words washing over like waves, which is, you know,
poets, my experience with poets read, they were more laid back. They were indeed, as was Marianne. I mean, I'm going back 40, 50 years, but you know, that was my experience. I'm having trouble with these speakers. I don't know what's going on. I need new speakers, either that or
I don't know if any of you got booted out. I just got booted out and now I'm back. So I got a signal saying there was an internet issue. So did anyone else get kicked out or was it just me? Hello?
Just you.
Just
well,
me?
I got a notice that the recording stopped, but apart from that.
Okay. Well, no, the recording is still there. I'll convert it. I was just concerned that we all got kicked out, but it might have been just me. So anyway, I'm back. So, Marianne, sorry about that, but that was just a brilliant recital. Brilliant recital.
Well, thank you so much.
I hope you enjoyed it because it's not just your words; it's the way you deliver them and perform your words. So,
well, thanks to this corner and having the opportunity to watch so many poets deliver their work, I really have been inspired and, you know, finding the way out of vulnerability and finding a way on the Zoom stage, at least. And I'm really enjoying that process very, very much.
Oh, good. How's my audio? Rick, just let me know my audio is kind of coming in and out. Are you guys hearing me okay now?
Yeah, hearing you now. But
okay.
A little while ago you dropped out, but you're back.
I'm really not sure what happened there, but I'm back. Anyway, let's continue on. So For those of you that have come to the Inspired Poetry Corner before, after the feature does an amazing job, like we just experienced with Marianne, I do a bit of an interview with her. So I'm going to ask a few questions. If any of you have questions, just hold on to them till the end. But so Marianne, I know you've been writing for a while, but maybe if you can just tell us what is poetry? What does writing mean to you personally?
Oh, well, there are so many beautiful definitions of poetry. It's certainly a very personal place for me. It's an opportunity for me to share something that I love to do, is to try to show a story, paint a story, and try to take the opportunity to walk along beside listeners or readers. For me, poetry is very much a place of being able to go where others fear to go. I think that's really important, and it's a really important role that we as poets play in personal journeys. First, our own, examining our own hearts for our fears,
Right.
and trying to put voice to them, but also speaking on behalf of those who are silent or fail to find their words, and taking the opportunities wherever we can in public and private stages to raise our voices in defense of what we love.
Oh, good. Thank you. Do you have a favorite word?
Well, of course, one of my all-time favorite words is moon. And speaking from the technical side, I will always favor the long vowel words over the short vowel words. So it will always be an embrace rather than a hug, if it can. But one of my absolute favorite words, and you will hear it often, and you heard it today, is caress.
Okay. The poem you just read regarding the ocean, is that for our friend Samkanto?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
If you heard Raul speak earlier on about a beautiful event that several poets from the Inspired Poetry Corner supported me in, a hybrid event here in Sint Maarten, where some of us performed on stage at a local venue, and a number of poets who are among us today zoomed in for that occasion. And on that evening, Samkanto said, I hope one day I'll get to Sint Maarten. I've never seen the ocean. And I turned to the screen and said, "You've never seen the ocean?" Well, I had to take that. And I'm so grateful to Samkanto for giving me that moment to write that particular poem.
Wow. I'm glad you listened and wrote a poem for him. So that's just getting him one step closer to seeing the ocean one day. So, right.
Exactly.
I asked you what your favorite word is. Do you have a least favorite word, a word that you really don't like?
Well, this is the family show, but one word that I never used, and it really makes me recoil, is when women or anyone described with a word that begins with C. That's a word that I hate to read and hear. To me, that's a very vicious word.
Right. I agree. What turns you off?
Hypocrisy.
Okay. What turns you on?
Raw. We don't know each other well enough.
I thought we did. No.
You know what turns me on? What turns me on incredibly is seeing my friends, my lover, my students in their element, stepping up and being themselves. This kind of day where I know that everybody that I see on screen here is going to get into it, and that I can be part of watching them be who they are, that poet side. I love that. I absolutely love that.
Yeah. So do I. I mean, it is a family show, but I do ask this question Do you have a favorite swear word?
Well, thanks to the Trump era, I'm afraid that I have found quite a few ass hats around the place, and I'm not afraid to use that one.
Okay, fair enough. Now, I know you've done a lot of different things in your life already, but if you weren't teaching today, because I know you love teaching and inspiring young ones, what else do you think you would do if you weren't a teacher?
Well, I went to journalism school in Ottawa, Ontario. I went to Carleton University, as did another person in the audience. Haha. Skill testing question.
Yes.
And I did a lot of marketing communications work. I would really love to be involved in putting together the kinds of programs and events that we've started up a little bit of a road, Rawl, and some of the kinds of things that I'm doing on the island. I would also, in a perfect world, I probably would be leading walking tours or something like that. Those are the kinds of things that I really enjoy when I pull myself away from the keyboard.
All right. Last question.
Mm-hmm.
If heaven exists and you're walking up to the pearly gates, what would you want God to say to you?
You again? Okay, but don't plan on staying too long, huh? Okay, don't get comfortable around here.
It's funny. That's a great answer. I don't think anyone's ever answered it that way. Well done. I love that answer. Love it. Does anyone have a question they would like to ask our brilliant feature for the month of October, Marianne?
Thank you so much, Rawl.
Reverse roles. Marianne,
Yes.
what question would you like to ask Rawl?
Of course.
Who put you up to these things, Rawl?
That same voice that says, don't get comfortable here.
Actually, I do have a question for Rawl, and we're going to have to figure that out later. My question for him is, what's next? Because my friend Rawl knows that I'm very happy if I have a project or 8 underway. So we have to figure out what's next.
Well, we have one that I still need to put pen to paper and get back to you on. So we do have something coming soon. Stay tuned. Mm-hmm. I'm like you. I have a multitude of things on the cooker right now, but not ready to reveal them yet. So, but stay tuned.
Oh, it'll be that way.
Well, well, no, you got to build some anticipation. Anticipation. I can tell you, yeah. Just between you and I, nobody else. Everybody else, just cover your ears. But no, I've got things that I'd like to do. If some of you have noticed, I've kind of taken a break from the Zoom rooms. I think I need to do that every so often, and just to step back and I think at my core, I'm an organist. I like bringing people together. I'm like you in that regard. So I love bringing people together on any opportunity where we can come together, inspire each other, and just remind each other that there is still good and beautiful in the world. I jump at those chances. So, any other questions before we wrap it up? Kevin, yes, sir.
Why do you think you love to write?
It's music for me. It's heart.
Exactly.
For me.
I was waiting to hear that.
I can't not. I can't not.
It's like a song that plays in your head.
Mm-hmm. Something is always twigging something, and it's been that way since I was a little kid. I love to read. I love to memorize poems. I love to, imagine things and tell stories.
It makes me laugh. It makes me cry. It makes me sing. It makes me dance.
Yes. All of it.
Good question.
That's why I love poetry.
Yes,
good question.
I can't not. Like all of us, I think. I can't not.
When you ask some writers why they write, a lot of them, I want to make millions. I want to sell 1 billion books. You're doing it for the wrong reason. Do it because it's a passion. Do it because you love it. Do it because you want to touch lives.
I don't know if you're going to sell 1 billion books as a poet, but it's a good.
Well, I'd love to sell 1 billion books. Then I could get my beach house with my guard donkeys.
Well, if we're going to sell 1 billion books, I would think we would see reality shows on TV that's based on poetry as opposed to the stuff that we see today. So
hey, we could start our own broadcast station.
We can start on. I'll get on that. Let me talk to the woman upstairs and see what she says. Anyway, guys, that was a magical reading. Not just the words, the way the way you present your poetry, the cadence of your voice, the tone of your voice, and then it just amplifies the words that you bring forth. For me, when listening to you, it's like listening to you breathing. That's when you read poetry, it's like listening to you breathing. It's very repetitive. It's a very meditative repetition that just invites you to want to come and say, let's breathe together. So that's
let me ask a question, please.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah. Is it something what's the objective of the group, and is it something we're always going to be doing, or you'll always have a selective poet for your shows? How often you're going to be doing it? Because I want to prepare some stuff to participate also. So
sure. Well, the Inspired Poetry Corner, the recital is a monthly recital that happens on the third Sunday of every month. So there's always a feature. The feature gets about 20 minutes to recite, and then followed by the question and answer that you just saw, and then followed by anywhere from 10 to 15, sometimes 20 other poets that some are invited. Mostly are people that once I put out that the show is coming up, they express an interest to recite. So that's how it is. This is not an open mic show. I keep reiterating that because there are people that are expecting it to be an open mic. I do my best, though, to invite people to speak. I mean, it's like every other show. There are sometimes people that don't show up for whatever reason. And, my attitude, those that are here are meant to be here. Those that aren't here, I hope everything is well in their world. But that's basically the format. It's a featured poet with invited poets that get to support the feature.
Okay. Thank you very much.
And I know Mercy had asked a question or made a statement that the questions that I'm asking seem quite random. They are random. It's not an original idea of mine. I actually stole it from James Lipton, who used to host the Inside the Actors Studio. In turn, he stole it from a French interviewer. And it's just 10 simple questions. It's a way to get to understand and know the poet in a different light, other than, just being always serious. This is why I asked the swear question. What's your favorite swear word? Because my favorite swear word is bastard. I don't even know if it's a swear word, but I just like the way bastard rolls off my tongue when I say it. But thank you for that question, sir. Appreciate that. Any other questions before we wrap it up and get into the Not Ready for Primetime Poets? No? Well, I'm going to spotlight her one last time, but I'm going to invite you guys, as I spotlight her, to give her a rounding clap, snap, whoop it up again for October's feature for the Inspired Poetry Corner. And thank you so much for honoring us this morning. Thank you
so much for your support, everybody. And I wanted to just shout out to my sister, who is on screen as Mish from Whidbey Island, Washington today.
Welcome, Mish. Welcome.
Hi. And I wanted to also introduce Ross Mozero, who just asked the question.
Yes.
He is our great friend here in Sint Maarten from Axum Art Cafe, where we Sint Maarten poets performed on Moon Lovers Night. So welcome, Ross, also. And thank you
very much,
everybody, for being here today. I'm looking forward to your work now.
Well, thank you for that. And we will now move on to the rest of the Not Ready for Primetime Poets. So, excuse me. Before I bring up our first performer, I will I'll mute everyone again, and then I will ask you to unmute, and then you can snap it up. Each poet has up to 5 minutes. You do not have to use the full 5 minutes. Some poets just want to recite one poem. Some will use the full, but feel free to really embrace your time and enjoy the moment. And I will do my best to make sure people are muted as we're reciting. So being that this has become like almost like a church revival, I think it's fitting to start off with our friend Alexandra, who always shows up and supports the recital. So all the way from the not island of Greece. If you have to been here for other shows for that reference, but snap it up and jam together for Alexandria.
But 6,000 islands.
but Greece is not an island.
Well, we have 6,000 islands.
Yeah, I know.
And again, I can't share screen because.
Yep, 1 second. You should be good to go.
I'm going to read from the middle of this poem because it's a long one. So can you see the graphics going by?
Yep, you're good.
Okay. This is a flying one, and it was written 20 years ago. Sorry. Yeah, 2000. And there lives a little cloud, and it is so yearning, it has to find a way. And the clouds say everything will be all right. And it is so hoping, it has to find a way. And the clouds say everything is going to be all right. And it is so knowing, it has to find a way. And the clouds say everything is all right. And it is so trusting, it just has to find the way. And the clouds say everything is just right. At night when I come home, the moon is shining over the mountains and over the house. Upstairs is our room, we sit there at night. The bed is very big and soft and warm. Outside the window I can see many purple flowers on the bathroom tiles, and I can feel the magical world waiting, and I can feel the excitement inside. The trees outside the kitchen window sway in the wind, and the mountains are dark. When it's misty, the moon has many colors, and it shines over the mountain all the time, and it has all the other worlds and people inside. Listening to music and dancing as I turn my worries into joys. In the city, we sit and have our drinks, and I have the butterfly in the clouds inside, and I have the blowing of the wind inside, and I have the land being golden all around, and I won't speak because everything is happening, and I have all the joy inside. I will fly, I must fly forever. And even if no one knows, and even if the other worlds never know, and even if the land is frozen, and even if there isn't a single plant or tree, I will always dream, I will always dream, I will always dream, and I promise I will always dream. We go to the horses every day. The horses are flying high up in the mountains, and they say I have to fly to other lands. And I walk up the ramp and everything is still and quiet, and the horses are eating, and the doves are flying up above the cave. I sit on a stone up above the cliff. My son likes it there and picks flowers. He knows we don't talk. Grey and windy, little horse running through the mountains like crazy, and the wind is blowing, and the moon is shining because it has the magical world inside, and it has all our friends inside, and it has all the dreaming and all the hoping inside. And our friends are here, and the people are around, and the fun is happening, and there is comfort and there is gratitude inside, and all our friends are here, and all the people are around, and all the fun is happening, and all the thrill and all the happiness is inside. And there are dreams and there is dreaming, dream to survive. And there are dreams and there is dreaming, dream to make life right. And the magical world exists everywhere, both in hell and in heaven. and the magical world goes everywhere, both to hell and to heaven. And sometimes a need comes from outside, and sometimes from within. And I have to dream alone, and I have to dream in society now. And sometimes the magic comes from outside, and sometimes from within. And I have to dream to have everything happen inside. And I have to dream to have everything happen in society now. I eat red grapes and all my strength returns. All the light is in the sun waves, on my body, on the sea sand. I lie in your strong arms, in the dream boat. Our souls, white butterflies, golden cords unite us. And the living is so difficult, and the dreaming is all hard, and thoughts are troubled, and the dreaming is dangerous, and fear is all around, and the dreaming is desperate, and moments are almost unsurpassable, and the dreaming is extreme, and the flying is high, and the flying is high, and the living is so perfect, and the dreaming is all real, and thoughts are confident, and the dreaming is the most beautiful, and excitement is all around, and the dreaming is full of joy, and moments are almost untouchable, and the dreaming is forever fulfilled, and the flying is high, and the flying is high, and the flying is the highest, and the wind is blowing, and the land is golden, and the moon is shining, and the wind is blowing, and the horses are flying, and the land is golden, and the moon is shining, and everyone is here, and the whole world is around, and all the living is happening, and all the dreaming and all the flying is inside, and all the dreaming and all the flying is outside. Now dream, now live, now dream, now live.
The world is
Very
magical,
beautiful.
my friend. The world is magical. So, well done,
Such
Alexandra.
cathartic writing.
Oh, it's beautiful, Alexandra.
You're I don't know if these are new poems, but they're new to me, and the depth that you seem to be exploring now is it is the magic of it. Thank you so much for that. Thank you.
There's a lot of room there for Marianne.
Well, Marianne, I think she brought that out just for you, so that's the honor. Well done, well done.
Privilege. It's a privilege. Thank you, Alexandra.
All right, let's continue on. Thank you again, Alexandra. Thank you always for being here and supporting us. All right, I've done something a little different. I know we have some veterans here. The next few artists that are coming up are all new to this recital. And the reason I did that, because I know a lot of times when you're new, and particularly when you're new to a new room, you get a little nervous. So I don't want people sitting there stewing away and worrying. So I invite us to extend our Inspired Poetry Corner arms and embrace them and love them and just welcome them. So up first, someone that is completely new to me. I don't vet poets. I don't always ask them what they're going to be reciting because I don't care. I trust we all know how to play in the sandbox. So I love when people reach out and want to recite. I'll ask them just a few basic questions, but I invite them to do so. So this first poet, I believe, is pronounce the name properly, Antje. If you're still here, if you can unmute yourself. In Facebook, she came to me as Max Mill, but anyway, put your hands together for Antje, I believe. If I've mispronounced it, please correct me.
Antje.
Antje? There you are. Right. You have, the floor is yours, my friend.
Okay, thank you for having me. October is Selective Mutism Month, so I decided to read 2 poems for you today. And I will first try and share my screen. Can you see that? You're on mute.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Sorry.
Okay. So the first poem is called Silence. Talkative at home, happy and loud, but quiet and withdrawn in a crowd. Silent at school and in the shop, does this selective mutism ever stop? It is not a choice, this hiding of the voice. When people are around, there is no sound. Like a sudden freeze, being in tight squeeze, unable to talk, nowhere to walk. Observing and listening is easy to do, but asking and joining in is hard to pursue. Keep trying and trying again, nothing is ever in vain. If people only knew that kindness is the thing to do. Inclusion, no pressure, and some fun in life is all that is needed to fight. And the second poem is called Incredibly Invisible. Invisibility was her natural superpower. She could do it every minute and every hour. She could miraculously hide herself away. She had absolutely nothing to say. Her mind had the words ready in a crowd, but her voice could never be heard aloud. Nobody could see her stare, because she wasn't really there. She could dress in red or green, and she wouldn't actually be seen. She could do whatever she pleased. Nobody would notice if she sneezed. She could even take things and leave, but people wouldn't in the slightest perceive the signs that she had been present at all, even if she suffered a terrible fall. But she is free now, happy and strong. The things she does usually never go wrong, because invisibility is her incredible superpower, and she is proud of it like a radiant sunstone. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing it. Can you just explain to us here that what is selective mutism like from your perspective? What is it?
That's a condition, like a fear of communication, and it stops people to speak in certain situations, even though they can speak. And it's usually for children, but adults can also suffer from it when they don't get any treatment.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for coming and sharing and reaching out to me and having the courage to come to a new room and share that. It was beautiful. And yeah, makes you appreciate the fact that we can speak and share openly. So thank you for that. Thank you for that reminder. Let's give her a hand, guys. Thank you. All right. See, this is how we roll. We welcome all voices. All right. Up next, all the way from India, another new voice and a friend of mine. Mala, are you here? I know I saw you.
I'm here.
There you are. I hear the voice.
Yeah.
You can recite whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Hi, friends. I hope you can hear me. Can you?
We can hear you.
You can see me?
And we can see you. Yes.
Okay, fine. It was really lovely being with you this evening. I was, when I joined, I found brilliant conversations going on between you about the kind of decadence that is setting in, the war-torn areas, aggression, so many things. I was a mute listener. Then, to say something, I thought I'd rather read what I felt about the kind of present predicament. As a poet, I believe sometimes we have to give a wide berth to things to exist and to see things from the flip side also, like from the other perspective. There are many perspectives to any kind of issue, whatever be the kind of personal relationship, whatever. There are different ways of looking at it. Everything depends on the way we look at it. The eyeing eye matters. The eyeing eye matters, I got. So here, despite all these things, I know that certain things are happening, which as poets we feel, what are we up to? How are we going to counter it? How is mankind feeling it? Yes, the devastation part puts in a kind of despair. But this poem of mine is addressing that issue. And please bear with my first poem. It is from my book, Water Sings Over the Stones. 2 years back it came and the COVID was at its peak. Pandemic was causing so much havoc. Where water sings over the stones. The quicksands of the pandemic sweep across, shrewding man's survival game. Where are we heading to? You can hear the sand drifting from the tops and valleys throwing back their despair. It echoes, pervades the near, the far, while pale horizons watch. No, out there, a plane awaits. You're a bird of solace, where water sings over the stones. The wind cools you. The cattle stand in wait under the tree to step down to the riverside to quench their thirst. Wait, wait, we too must, for the sandstorm to subside and the sky to clear. Wait, wait, we too must, for the sandstorm to subside and the sky to clear up. Dear friends, as I told you, waiting, patience matters. Again, to gather the kind of a silver line in the dark cloud. That has always been my focal point of attention as a poet. Here I still read hope in mankind, humanity, in future. I start with that poem, my second poem. Somewhere in the midst of roaring traffic, a hand reaches out to help the old man cross the road. Somewhere, a kind policeman carries the pregnant lady caught up in Hartal. That's a kind of a strike we have here, Hartal. Rushing her to hospital. Somewhere, a child bends down to pick up the much-strewn plastic to put it into the dustbin. Somewhere, the busy commuter turns round, stops to close the tap, oozing water. Somewhere, braving the heat, the woman nurses the sapling, the lone survivor of the giant mother tree that has been cut. Somewhere, leaders meet to work on truce to stop the fight. Hope, the first cry of the newborn. Long awaited, distant. Peace as a promise, like the rain the thundering clouds carry. Peace as a promise, like the rain the thundering clouds carry. Thank you so much. Thank you, James, for giving me this platform.
Unmute, guys, unmute. Thank you, Dr. Molly. Thank you so much for coming and first, I know you were here before as a guest, but thank you for coming as a reader. Thank you. And so poignant, and it's true. You know, us poets, we have a voice, and it's up to us to speak the world that we see. And to Kevin's point, you know, use poetry to master your own world and fix your own world. And if we all did that, maybe the bigger world will be good. So thank you for that reminder. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Snap it up for everyone, guys. I always love when people come for the very first time and share things that mean something to them. That, you know, not just the poetry, but it means something to them. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that. All right, let's continue on. Up next, another young poet that reached out to me this past week, actually, I think, if I'm not mistaken, or last week. I believe she's in South Africa. I'm not 100% sure. I'll let her tell us that. But put your hands together, snap it up for Mercy. Yep. Mercy, are you there?
Oh, yes, I'm right here. Good afternoon to everyone. I'm still trying to catch my breath from the beautiful poetry we just heard, from Dr. Thank you so much for that, and for everyone else who came before me. It's been blissful. I just have two pieces. The first one is titled "These Tongues." Words slide out of our lips and pour out in beautiful melodies. Thick, honeygold pleasantries gliding ceremoniously in unrestricted territories. Serene soliloquies draped in majestic garments of transverse ideologies. Bold tongues molding speech. Spit and revolution, preaching gospels that spew out from our lips and cling to the ears, engraving legacies bearing testament of the predicament of modernity. Behold the global age of complex identities, where we define ourselves in tongues and dialects imported, while our mother tongues grow impotent, our voices swallowed, vocabulary narrowed, and vocabulary narrowed to tongues borrowed, tongues that do not recognize the sound of our names, tongues that cannot find meanings in our totems, tongues with no dialects, tongues that determine the scopes of our intellects. With these alien tongues that we have grown to dream and think in, what knowledge of self shall we impart on the future that we are conceiving? Will our children know the language of self? Will they know of yesterday's tongues that reeked of legacy and bore testament to ancestry? Tongues that were pregnant with identity, bearing tribal marks adorned with mystery. Will they know the language of the names? Whose names shall they bear? And will the gods hear them when they pray? Will they recognize the voices beneath the silver that coats our tongues? Will they recognize the voices beneath the silver that coats the tongues of our speech? That was the poem, These Tongues, which is basically inspired by my fear of the erasure of our languages as Africans here in Africa. Most of us, we communicate in English a lot, that our children cannot even speak their own home languages. So that's what inspired that piece. The second piece is titled Waiting Still. There are traces of laughter behind the kitchen counter, footprints in Granny's garden, oil paint on mother's tiles, cigarette butts in the flower pot. The air still smells of nicotine, brown liquor bottles with fetid residues taking up storage space, and mother says not to touch, as if my hands are too holy for such remnants of you. She says not to move a thing, as if wanting nothing to disturb the ghost of you. Oh, but Father, does love die? Does it end? Does it end when our laughter ceases to exist? Am I mother's sins? Am I the love lost that you have grown to loathe? Mother says not to cry. Love cannot be begged or demanded. And Granny says a child's tears can be a curse. So I try not to cry, so as not to curse you. I wait instead for the day that you find me worthy of your laughter again. I wait still, remembering not to cry. And I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for the day you find me worthy of your smile again. That was Waiting Still. Thank you.
Unmute yourself, guys. Wow. Mercy.
Amazing.
Yes,
Wow.
Sister X. Sister X.
I am
Group, group.
so glad you reached out to me, woman. Oh my gosh, you are powerful. And I love that first piece. To me, it's not about race and all. It's about culture. And I think it's important to embrace our culture and not lose certain components of it. So that first piece was brilliant.
As an English teacher, I hear the change in language, and I know that language evolves, but I try to resist it. It drives me crazy when the kids use words incorrectly or forget what words actually mean. And I know language evolves, and there's no stopping it. But the loss of native tongues is tragic.
Can I make one suggestion?
Yeah.
I think I said it earlier. Breathe while you read. Slow down a little bit and breathe. You're reciting, you're reading, and like you read it 1,000 times. Slow down and breathe. Live it.
I did.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you.
I did find it a very powerful. I found it a powerful chanting.
Very powerful.
Use the phrase.
Yeah. Well done. Well done.
As far as cultures, I think there is just so much today talking about cultural appropriation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it bears saying that people, they kind of want to say you're committing cultural appropriation so they can show how informed they are. I mean, as bad as I am, I have a very bizarre problem, and I have a problem with Chinese medicine, and it worked. It worked.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't undo the damage done by drugs, but, when I was a kid, the drugs they were giving me. But, I've been thrown out of 2 groups on Facebook for insisting that Chinese medicine is based in biology. And you begin to wonder, are they really respecting Chinese medicine, or are they disrespecting it by saying, oh, well, Western medicine is all based on science and that works, but this other medicine is only a ritual which you must not culturally appropriate.
We live in an age where everything is politicized right now. And we as a people, from the moment have conscious thought and live together, we've always been sharing our cultures with each other. Sometimes it's stolen, sometimes it's not. But that's been a constant understanding. My invitation to everyone is to get past the politics of things and get to the root of it, because I find a lot of times people that are supposedly offended when their culture is appropriated really are not offended. And I think we understand the difference. It's not that it doesn't happen, but we understand the difference, and let's not get caught up in the politics of it. So, but anyway, this is one of the vehicles I want to create, because I sense people want to have these kind of conversations. So anyway, Mercy, thank you for that. That was a brilliant first performance. Please come back and recite. And for those of you that liked her, reach out to her, get to know her. I love these powerful voices that are coming up that are new to us. Just like I was embraced when I first came into these Zoom rooms how many months ago. Please reach out and come back, Mercy. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you too for this space.
You're most welcome. You are most welcome. What a powerful voice. What a great first reading. I really enjoyed that. Thank you so much. And thank you for all of you who gave comments and good critique. It's important to critique each other. Criticism, critiquing is not meant to harm. It's meant to help you grow. And so those Kevin, great advice that you offered to her. All right, let's continue on. Up next, he is not. He's new to this room, but I've heard Richard before. And I'm so glad that he wanted to come earlier, but he had some health issues. So I'm glad he followed through. And anyway, guys, put your hands together for Richard.
Hello. Thank you very much. Yes, I've had multiple eye operations, and it's not very easy to read when you have that.
Wow.
So
I'm glad you're in good health.
We're just about getting back there now. Sometimes I don't wear the glasses, but for reading I do. Last year, I was very lucky at the age of 69 to be signed to Stairwell Books, and they issued this book called Awakening, which they tell me was their bestseller last year. So they're very happy to issue this one, which is out now. iconic tattoo. And I had been going to read some very political, angry poems, and I felt, having enjoyed Marianne so much, that I really wouldn't do that. So I'm going to read a couple from this book, and it's Rose Drew, who publishes it, has written the words transformative, funny, and emotional. So I don't know whether I'm going to be those, but I thought I'd read some of these poems. The first one is Prem Baby. The sperm shot out as sperm do, swam fast and direct, got to the egg, implanted itself, and started a life, a miracle. Who would know how long this life would last and what it would achieve? The pregnancy was bad, a terrible time and short term, a tiny Prem baby, a sickly one with tubes, and a long time in the incubator, months before the little boy could be taken home, so tiny and frail, with 3 boisterous older sisters. Convulsions were the next nightmare, but they passed. Then the family moved from London to Cairo, and the baby nearly died. Scarlet fever and diphtheria, more lengthy periods in hospital in the heat, a scary time for all. So much love for him, especially from the frightened mother. As time went by, there were more health problems, glandular fever, whooping cough, pneumonia, but the child managed to thrive and overcome all this, got married, became a dad. Were the health problems connected to the premature birth? Some research says so, but we will never know. How will the story end? Well, I'm not at the end of my journey yet. Have more recently survived diabetes, a new hip, and cataracts. It's all ongoing, so I don't know the end yet. And that's sort of my story. And quite a long time ago, I was, thank you, quite a long time ago, I entered a competition to write a poem about a piece of clothing, and it won the competition. It got published in the Silver Birch Press, and it's called That Top Hat. I was 12, yes, 12. The youngest of 4, my sister, got married. I was a thin, lanky 12-year-old. I was put into a top hat. Yes, a top hat and tails. I felt an utter prat. This was the 60s. I was meant to be swinging, not stood around like a geek. I was tall, nearly 6 foot. Did I mention I was lanky? Or how tall did I feel in a top hat? Shiny top hat and with those tails. It's so long ago, yet I remember it still. And when hats are mentioned, I return to that very memorable day instantly. And that's from about 8 or 9 years ago. And recently I was challenged to write a continuation of an already published poem. So I did this, and it's called The Hat Speaks. I'm used to being hired out. I grace extremely superior heads. I'm, after all, a 7 3/4, not small enough for a child. I'm warned with respect. I'm treated well. My wearers drink champagne, nibble caviar, and their deportment is perfection. Can you imagine my horror then when one day in 1964 I was hired out with my brothers and I was put on the head of a lanky child? He kept taking me off and fidgeting. He ran round. He even sang out loud. He was so silly. I mean, dropping me on the grass and leaving me on chairs where I could have been squashed. In all my years at weddings, I have never before been so scared, really scared and ashamed. I still have nightmares about that day. And then a little one, which is slightly more serious, and it's about humankind. Humankind is clever, oh so clever. It rules the world so well. The greatest engineering project ever in the world, they said, railway. Eternal, a lasting achievement, till in England they close so many lines. Canals were allowed to clog up. They now dig them out. Replaced, removed tram lines. Inventions, oh yes, so clever, like nylon, fleece and lycra, lasting so well, so cheap and so much profit. But every time they are washed, they release microfibers into the sea, polluting them. Humankind is so clever, inventing durable, never-ending plastic, and with it they have covered the planet. No other species leaves such waste. Every other living being leaves only bodily waste, biodegradable. Oh, humankind is so clever. Mobile phones and other items to plug into the ears, causing deafness, more folly. Microwaves, largely untested. Humankind invented built-in obsolescence. Convenient for the manufacturers, but not the consumers. So many mistakes while being clever. Additives leading to allergies and conditions. So maybe humankind is not so clever. And I've not even mentioned power, control, corruption, and of course, war. Thank you. So you can buy that book from Stairwell Books, or it's on Amazon worldwide, or it's going to be shortly. The link's there, I think, to order it. Anyway, so
thank you so much, Richard.
There you are.
Yeah, I've heard you before, and I love your words. I love how you see things, and the invitation to maybe understand in a different way. I probably do it as well, because I wouldn't know if your poems are old or not, because they're new to me and new to us. So, but I appreciate you dusting stuff out, and
Well, when you compile a book, it probably takes 14 months to get it published.
Yes,
so they're not my current things that I've just been writing. So it's weird to go back to them almost, because it was about 14 months ago, and then there's all the rewrites and the proofreading and all that lot, and then it has to go in their schedule. So even though you think, oh good, I've got another book coming out shortly, it turned out to be at least a year later. I have inserted a couple of new ones into it. I've got my Black Lives Matter one in it, and I've got a silly one about me. But so there's some currency to the book, but because of the nature of publishing, they are in the main quite old, really, to me.
Anyway, if you put your information where people can find your books, I'll put your stuff in the chat. Same with the other poets and all the poets that are coming. You're more than welcome. Please, put your social media information or website, wherever you can find that. Put it in the chat. Give Richard one more hand, guys. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for blessing us.
Yes. Thank you very much, and thank you very much for asking me and bearing with me with my cataracts. Thank you.
I'm glad you got better and the surgery went well. So. All right, up next, another first timer to the IPC family. Prasanna, are you here, sir? Are you still with us? I don't know if he's still with us or not. I see his name here, but I don't hear from. All right, we'll come back if he comes back on. Looks like he's still here, but he may have stepped out to the room. All right, Scott, if you're ready, sir, you have about 5 minutes to dazzle us with your words. So put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, for Scott.
Thank you very much for your courtesy, Rolly. This poem, this is a political day, so that is my poems. 3 letters. Kyle Rittenhouse. First aid to those who claim you as enemy. Extinguish a fire. Erase cliches from walls. Are the others always evil? Does Flora Westbrook's cry murderer from ashes of a beauty parlor? Life of 30 years? Did you burn it? Did her neighbors? Black, white, folk desperate, lives gone. 2, never finished high school. I make poems. Back in 90, I read with Etheridge Knight. Ideas etched in stone, cried out in towns. I don't speak for all the bullied, driven down sidewalks, around corners, beaten, vilified, work denied, dreaming broken, like murdered dogs, starved cats. Been there, done that. 3. Back in the day, Daniel Kiner attacked me. I wouldn't shut up as homes were stolen. Twice my size, attacked 3 times, ran from a pocket knife you'd use on a lemon. Now Antifa stalks, threatens. 4. History, life, transcends sides. Ms. Flora Westbrooks. 1. The moon too full to sleep. Noise of lives smashed, burned out. 2. Dreams, angers, compassion. 30 years cutting hair, styling time. Jesus saw we are neighbors, even the people living in the streets. 3. Nobody liberates us who would silence our voice. To Grandma Brenda and Dantea when shipping to them. 2 cramped rooms, no book, no boots, few socks, near nothing but cold and wet. Boots, socks, food, for now. Time is relentless. We grow so tired. This one, which I'll squeeze in, pushing back. 1, an acknowledgement for the Folk of the Walkaway campaign. Gay, trans, black, white, people. Your courage flows, rumbles, past fences into homes. Poisoned children hear the wind, the waters, rising away toward. Poisoned childhood, wasted life. I reach from here, nowhere. Gay baited, facts didn't matter, but for the spice of falsity. I didn't deny, I armed. Unchecked, bullying is tyranny. Silence is death. 2, land acknowledgement. Respect, live. Aztecs conquering, devouring. Lakota, migrating, displacing. Quote, nation follows nation. Regret is useless. End of quote. All of us come from someplace else. History is where we live. 3, on woke bigotry history. Once upon a time, Pam Africa reminded me racism finds its own direction. Bigotries emerge, already ancient. Falseness easier than time. Deafening promises upraise us, if only we will separate. We learn again what we've always seen. 4, the child poisoners. In white coats, in black masks, smashing windows, burning bridges. You live on roaring silence. Not in our name. Dragons eat us all, breathe fire, life. 5, addendum. Life is woven, knit, paradox, compromise. Reality is relentless. The world is difficult. History isn't a nice place. Thank you.
Unmute, guys, unmute. Oh my gosh, Scott. Thank you so much for speaking your truth this morning.
Thank you. I hope I didn't run over.
That's okay.
Beautiful word.
It's a running time. You know, I know Scott and I have been talking throughout the weekend over the last little while, and it's going through a lot of stuff, but this is a place where your voice is welcome. Every time I've encountered you, you've been respectful, and I may not necessarily agree with all your words, but your words are welcome here. And it rings a lot of truth. So, you know, we try to be supportive of each other, even if we may not agree with politics. So, you know, you're welcome to come here anytime, my friend, anytime and read.
Thank you. It seems a shame these days that people, they're even the more reasonable people, if you don't do things exactly this way, then you're completely against.
Yeah.
You know, if you find something that leads to the same place, but it's not the route, no, that's no good. You got to do it my way.
And I, you know, in this day and age with the media and social media and all that, it seems like everyone's like that, but I still believe the majority of open and understanding, even if we differ. I use my friend Richard as an example all the time. We have some different political ideology. We differ. But man, I appreciate and we speak. When we speak with respect. We listen to each other. We're not trying to convince one, you know, I'm right and you're wrong, and vice versa. So listening to your words, to me, when I hear people like yourself speak your words that feel like you haven't had the opportunity, I'm listening to your experience, and who am I to deny your experience? So to me, yeah, speak it. You're welcome.
What actually amazes me is nowadays that it seems as though somebody disagrees with you and they then start hating you, you know. I have an old work colleague who has been a very close friend for 40 odd years. And because I have left-wing views and have said things on Facebook, he actually contacted me and said, you know, I think you're having a nervous breakdown, and I think you need to go to a psychiatrist and get some help. And you just can't talk to him. He's got his blinkers on and he knows exactly what is right. And it's very distressing because he was a very dear friend, and we're not as close now because I have nothing really to say to him, you know.
I just had that pulled on me. You know, I'm in the psychiatric survivors movement. You know, because they're after, you know, I got enough of their drugs when I was a kid. I certainly have no intentions of, you know, taking more poison, but and that's a discussion itself, not for here. But you know, totalitarianism. Fascism can come from right, left, whatever you want to call it, totalitarian, you know, it can always go on to the psychiatric card. Psychiatry has been the tool of tyranny almost since inception. And if you don't agree with me, then there's something wrong with you. And yet, if you do as much research as I do, you realize that the actual agendas are hidden. I was connected to Antifa. I was connected to a lot of things.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had some strange things happen to this apartment while I was gone. No lie.
Well, you guys are arguing my some of the things I'm working on, because, like I said, I sense today there's a growing need to discuss these things in a welcoming, open way. So, yeah, stay tuned.
That's exactly it. I have had mental health problems, and I've had diagnosed illnesses, but this was not meant in a helpful way. This was trying to bring my past and apply it to my opinions.
Stress and anxiety it's called being human. It's, you know?
I think everyone on the planet then has some sort of mental challenge, and if that's the case,
absolutely,
I agree.
I mean,
anyway, gentlemen, we'll continue this. I don't like squashing. I love these kind of conversations, but I want to continue on because I see Fasana has shown up, and then we still have Kevin that's waiting, and then we have a special guest that I think Marianne will really like, and then we'll continue on. So, Hasana, are you ready, sir? If you can unmute yourself, the floor is yours to recite.
Good.
Oh, there you are.
Good.
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. James. Sweet day, sweet poetic friends. Thank you, Lord, the bunch of just mine, Mr. James, who invited me to join this great platform. I'm Prasanna Bhatta from India. Before reciting my poem, I like to say something. God is full of mercy and kindness. He is impartial and free from discrimination. If God is in discrimination, if so, in his creation, nothing is useless. If nobody is naughty and haughty, why shan't I invite the world to be my friend? So I decided world is to be my friend. Without feeling enmity, I declared the friendship to the world. So this is the title, caption of my poem, World is My Friend. I am such an entity, cordially invited all to my party. I declared, oh friends, stay with me without no, but with one provision, with one condition. One sorry will make the end of your story. Why one sorry will make the end of your story? Listening my word, head came for war and asked in ego, will you entertain me with your work? Oh, head, why not? No problem. You are created by Creator, but one condition. Oh, head, with one condition. You will hate my jealousy, ego, craving, and all my bad habits without touching others. He bowed down the head in silence. Then defeat came and asked in proud, oh Prasan, could I join with you? Undoubtedly, without murmuring, but one condition. You will defeat my defeat in all situations and conditions. Besides this, you will remain silent. Besides this, you will remain silent. The enemy could not remain silent. Putting hand on mustache, he asked proudly, are you ready to accept me? Oh, gladly. Oh, enemy, why not? Oh, gladly. You are my best friend. But one condition, you will show your mighty before me, not after me. Never tell flattery or blunder words before me. If you stab me with your knife, my bed. If you stab me with your knife, my bed, the very moment you will be in luck. Then light came proudly and asked like great, may I enter into your heart? Oh, sure, don't worry. But you will tell a lie when an innocent life or my country's security is at stake. In other time, you will remain in peck. Then, with full of confidence, truth came without hesitation and murmuring, but wanted to get my permission. Do you receive me as your foe? O truth, you are of a soul. You are my soul. but without condition cannot be accepted. When I am arrested and interrogated and asked about my country's progress and prosperity, you will remain silent without giving identity. When my country's arms are in difficulty or in danger position, you will remain silent without giving identity. If you utter your truthful word, my country is at the tip of enemy's sword. Oh dear and near ones, coin has two sides. Every child shows two results, merit and demerit. It depends on your use and your heavy. It depends on your use and your heavy. Nothing is useless in this world. It is the end of my poem. Thank you so much for listening.
Your powerful voice, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us and for a reminder of what matters most. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for reaching out and wanting to share. You know, it's funny listening to people from other lands. It makes me anyway, it just strengthened my belief we're all connected and we have a lot of the same issues and same concerns that we see in the world that we want to fix and or things that we need to change. So thank you for that. You're a powerful speaker, my friend.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. Come again. Please come again. Please come again. Guys, snap it up. Give him some love. Show him some love. I love when people want to come for the first time. It takes a lot of courage to share your poetry and to share your prose and your rambling. So thank you so much. All right, one more, and then I have a special guest coming up. So this gentleman is not a first time. He and his wife showed up many months ago and continue to support us. And I know he's made friends in a number of rooms. So anyway, I'll shut up and let Kevin do the rest. Kevin, my friend, the mic is yours.
Thank you. I think the first time I came on the Inspired Poetry Project was right before me and my wife got married. We were setting it all up. We're in a
Kevin, you muted yourself.
No, unmute. Calvin, unmute.
Hold on. Okay, now can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I think the first time I came on the Inspired Poetry Project was right before me and my wife met. And since then, a lot of things have happened. We moved out of our one bedroom apartment and into the Keeping It Magical studio. And so anyway, we've done a lot of things in 10 months. We just published a book together, Keeping It Magical, Wonder Love, 503 pages long. Kevin likes to write. But I think God put us together because my wife is a very talented woman and a writer too. And so anyway, I thought I'd read a couple poems. And the last one I'll read today is the one that I wrote this morning that she went back and kind of edited and became part of that poem. So it was kind of a joint effort on the last one. But the first one, my poetry is usually inspired by something I see. This is a quote by Osho. It says, "Courage is a love affair with the unknown." So I wrote this poem called Courage. It was a beautiful Sunday morning the night before I prayed like a lover, a believer, and a giver. I wasn't quite prepared for what was about to happen, but the good Lord was about to deliver. I had been 3.5-year journey into the unknown. I really had no future plans. I lived day to day, posting the words from deep in my soul through my God-gifted poetic hand. I was convinced my dreams of finding true love was about to come true. It would, in the blink of an eye, change my life. It didn't take long after we started our first conversation. I knew you were the one, so I made you my wife. It took an enormous amount of courage to step into this life that God had chosen for you and me. Sometimes the best things in life take time, and God knows we both paid the price for fate and destiny. One moment in time changed my destination. The courage it took to get here was etched in our hearts. Our courage to chase our dreams together is written in the sands of time in beautiful, poetic, heartfelt art. Nothing good comes from fear. It takes an unbelievable amount of courage to charter the unknown. I knew the rest of my days I'd spend walking down life road, seeing all the beautiful signs we were shown. I love that one. It got a lot of responses in the places that I posted around. The next one was as a Rumi quote. Live life as if everything is rigged in your favor. Everything was rigged in my favor. With nothing to lose and everything to gain, life had hit me hard, but I felt everything was rigged in my favor. I started writing about my hopes, my dreams, what I wanted out of life, and all the memories I could savor. Without a care of or fear of living my life, I wanted, without a care or fear of living my life how I wanted, new strict boundaries set in place. I let my story come alive on these pages for over 4 years. I left my mark, my heartfelt trace. Every day I kept praying like a lover of this beautiful life I've been given. Every day I wanted more. Step by step, every time I seemed to be getting lost, God would send me signs that opened new doors, new perspective doors. Life is actually what you make of it. There is heaven and hell. Don't let your mind playing games. Live your life straight from your heart and soul. Your life will change and never be the same. When you surround yourself in the midst of your heart's desire and love everything that life has to give, that's when you break free of just surviving. The tables will be turned around. Love the life that you live. And then finish off. Actually, I got 2 more that I'd love to read. But this was a quote, and I don't know who the author was. It said, never let the odds keep you from doing what you know in your heart you were meant to do. I wish more people would listen to their hearts. What were the odds? What were the odds my life would turn out like this? Looking back now, I say pretty good to slim to none. I had faith and I believed in myself. God gave me a gift of poetic words. That's how this story begun. What were the odds of a laborer that barely made it out of high school would end up writing 2 books? I thought they were slim to none at one point in time, but it all came true. It's all over my page. Take a look. What are the odds that I'd find a long lost love? I had prayed for her, my dreams. She seemed so real. I'd say it was about 1 in a billion to find everything she does for me and how she makes me feel. What were the odds that 4 years ago, into this amazing leap of faith, I'd find myself married with a beautiful wife? I tell you, God took my hand 4 years ago and blessed me and protected me, and I've lived an amazing kind of life. What were the odds of all these possibilities I could possibly come true? I'd say pretty good if you believe. I'll tell you that it was worth every struggle, every ounce of courage I could muster to set my spirit wild and free. What are the odds you've been waiting for? The possibilities are endless when you finally open your eyes. You can go live a life, take risks and chances, ride life's adventure. Over the hill comes a new surprise. And then the last one, if you don't mind, was the one I wrote this morning. My wife came back and goes, I edited this, if you don't mind. So I'm kind of part of this because I was kind of putting words in her mouth. So she helped me out on this and edited it, and I loved it. So I erased everything I had written and wrote it back as ours together. His last first kiss. He was standing there dreaming, watching her dance in his arms. He was lost in another world, totally mesmerized. He was losing all control, pulling her closer, running his fingers through her hair and looking deep into her walnut brown eyes. She had taken his breath away, and now he needed it back. She had ignited him in a desire, a desire to breathe deeply once again. She could tell he was inviting him in, and she recognized him and as her lover and also her long, long lost best friend. Gently he kissed her lips and he took her breath away. She lost all control and desire to resist. She just melted into his arms. He was so much like her, a wanderlust, a poetic dreamer. She knew he'd never do her any harm. They rubbed their hearts and souls together, and their love unfolded before their very eyes. He looked at her and said, I loved you forever and always will. True love never dies. The moment her lips touched his, the taste was so familiar. If love exists in another dimension, I'll tell you the rest of the story, but I like to keep your imagination flowing. Just know this, she definitely had my attention. They decided to risk it all for love. This dance was worth every chance. It was one they both were eager to take 48 weeks ago today. In that magical first conversation, God displayed so many signs of a life only true love can make. He asked her if she believed in miracles. He asked her if she believed love could be true. She said, I always had faith that one day love would find me. That day came the day I met you.
Oh, unmute, guys. Kevin, your poetry is like, it's like a testimony, man.
Well, I think that's why I asked Marianne.
Yeah.
Why do you write? And she said exactly why I do. It plays like a song in your head.
Yeah.
It plays like a melody. And it's something that I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I just start typing away. I just like, I go to bed thinking about her. I wake up thinking about her. I think about her all day long.
I know you can't help yourself though. It's beautiful.
I can't help it. She's not feeling good. It's kind of cold there lately. But anyway, you can find us on Facebook and
you kind of cut in and out there. So hopefully you're still with us. Put your info in the chat, Kevin, so people could find your book and join your Facebook page to get your daily inspiration. So I hope you're still with us. Or if you got cut off, come back anyway. Guys, put your hands together, unmute real quick and give Kevin some love. Snap it up. Powerful, powerful reminder of what matters most. I know Marianne said it throughout her poetry, but it's about love, and we're spiritual beings having this human experience together. So, all right, let's continue on. I said I had a special guest, a special treat for you guys. Well, here it is. My two nieces are going to read a story written by Layla Williams. So Layla Williams and Kinley Williams are going to perform The Mysterious Lighthouse.
Wow.
Okay. Hold on a second. Can you guys see them? Oops, sorry. All right. So, whenever you're ready. All right. Nice and low.
The Mysterious Lighthouse. One day there were 6 friends: Robin, Billy, Vance, Vinny, Bruce, and Griffin. They were all going on adventure as a group that they had planned for months, during and after school. Let's meet the characters, shall we? Robin, the fighter, one who fights for the people he loves and cares about. Vinny, the nice one, Robin's best friend. Vance, kind of like Robin, except Vance fights people outside his livelihood, I guess.
Bruce, the acid overpass.
Billy, the goofball, he makes everyone laugh, like even the teachers.
Griffin, the shy one. He hates being contact.
At school. Hey, Finn, what's happening? Nothing, just waiting for the others. Oh, all right. The others finally arrived before the bell. Hey, guys, about time.
Yeah, sorry, buses were late.
Let's get to class before the bell rings.
Oh, hey, Finn.
Hey, leave Finny alone.
Or what?
You'll pay for it like I to last week.
That was ugly. LOL. It's funny. You got beat up and you ran off.
Just leave. That's what I thought.
Let's just go to class.
They arrived in my class just before the bell. Phew, we made it before the bell rang. Yeah, good thing we weren't late. Mr. Johnson would have given us attention again.
Hello, boys.
Hi. The boys also feel like there was no way to escape the bullies because they have the same math class as them.
Well,
Ring, ring. The bell rings just before the bell rings and math is about to start.
Well, what are you waiting for? Take your seats. You know what I just realized?
Nope.
Bruce and Cooper aren't here.
So what? It'll be nice to see them suffer. No, it won't.
How so? Bruce and Cooper are your bullies, Finn.
That's true. I guess it'll be quite funny to see them in detention. That's the spirit.
Does anyone know who Bruce and Cooper are?
Nope, and nobody certainly cares. Vance? Sorry. No, we don't know where they are.
Well, I guess they're having attention then.
Yes. 10 minutes later.
Sorry. We're late.
Desk Cooper comes running behind us.
Sorry you're late. Class started 10 minutes ago. Detention. Ugh.
It is now time for a little break before our next class starts.
So Finn, how does it feel to finally be Bruce and Cooper free?
It feels good. But remember, they bullied you guys too. What? What is it, Finn? Why are Mr. Cooper walking out of Mr. Johnson's class? I have no idea, but I think we should run. Yeah, let's go.
Hey, where do you think you're going?
Robin decides to stop and have a little chat with Moose.
I knew you were weak. I can nail you down.
Then do it. And Mr. scared. Moose goes for a punch, but Robin dodges it and beats him up again. Get him, Robin! The crowd goes wild. Fight, fight, fight! As Robin finishes Moose, he walks away and goes to the washroom with the others. Are you okay, Robin? Yep, Moose had it coming. I guess he doesn't learn.
I hope you finally leave us alone.
Really? Do you really think Moose and Cooper are going to leave us alone?
We had a point. They didn't leave us alone last week.
Oh, I know I have a point. Really, Vance? Just saying.
We need to take the science class.
Hate science class.
We like science class.
That's true.
I don't think the teachers like science class either.
That's also true. He's always so miserable. Can we go to class now? Hey, geez, chill, Vance. Well, Grim was like 30 minutes ago. Let's go to science class. Vance? What?
Something like that. Don't take it personally. Okay, we'll just go to class.
They're after class just before the bell. Hey, Mr. Todd. No hello back? Finny mumbled under his breath. Wow, I knew Mr. Todd was mean and grumpy, but not that really his response back. What do you expect? He's Mr. Todd. More like Mr. Todd Lur. I'm so funny, guys. They all look at each other in confusion. Okay.
Not trying to be rude or anything, Billy, but what kind of joke was that?
I have no idea what you guys are talking about, but that joke was pretty good. I'm gonna go tell Mr. Todd Lur about my joke. What? Billy, no you're not. Are you crazy? Don't do that. Why not? Because you're gonna get in trouble. Alright, whatever. Kids are gonna hate.
Alright, so you're gonna be like something a frog or two. Get in groups.
Ring, ring, ring. The bell rings for lunch, and the boys spend our class a second the bell ring. Oh boy, I am starving. Same. The other boys all look at each other, look at Vance and each other, and back at Vance. And Finny says, "Did you just answer back to Billy normally?" Yes, but what about it? God, man.
There's the Vans we're all used to. Okay, don't make me feel awkward. Let's just go get them. Yeah, let's go.
All of a sudden, Robin hears his name on the announcements. Robin, please come down to the office. Finny looks at Billy. Finny looks at Robin in confusion. I wonder why they're calming you down. Probably because of the fight. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I hope you don't get in trouble.
I won't. He arrives in the principal's office. So, Robin, what happened with you and Moose outside? You already know, he's being a jerk to me and my friends, so I made him pay for it. By doing what exactly? Beating him up. Okay. What? What's wrong with you? Nothing. Go back to lunch. Robin says okay in confusion. Okay. He gets back to lunch and his friends are waiting for him at the table. So, what did the principal say? Nothing much. I just want to know what happened.
Oh, so you you in trouble?
No. That's good. Doesn't want to get to the last class of the year? Woo!
Yes. Let's go.
Oh, for information, it's the last day of grade in high school. Anyways, the boys get to gym class before their gym teacher, Mr. Logan, gets mad at them. Oh, I am so excited to play dodgeball against Moose and Cooper. Same. Their boys are going to get kicked. Oh, Vance. All right, boys. Today we're playing dodgeball. You guys already know your team. Set yourselves up. I'm so excited for dodgeball. Same.
Look at this. You have a chance.
Bro, Finn, look at Moose and Cooper talking about us. It's okay. Don't let them get in your heads.
Okay.
Alrighty, is everyone ready?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Loki looks at Bruce and laughs. You don't have to call me sir, Bruce.
Okay.
From the count of three, you start. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. He blows a whistle, and the boys and girls go crazy. Robin throws a ball and hits Moose straight in the head. And Moose goes,
No fair. That doesn't count.
Yes, it does. Get off and sit on the bench. What? Oh, is the baby gonna cry? Billy decides it'll be okay to laugh at Robin's joke and make another joke when gym class finishes. 30 minutes go by and gym class is almost done before it's time to go home. But before home time, Moose gets back in the game with Cooper. Moose throws the ball and gets the others out except for Robin. Robin throws the ball and gets Cooper out. The others cheer on Robin. Go, Robin, finish him. Robin throws the ball and Moose doesn't catch it. He's out. The others yell and Robin and his friends win the games. Now it's home time. Good job, Robin. Yeah, great job. You beat Moose Tracks. Get it? Like the ice cream? Moose Tracks? No? No.
That was worse than the other joke you said earlier. Yeah, and trust me, that joke was bad. Like, really bad.
Here, Billy, I got some advice for you. Practice over the summer. Practice what? Your jokes. Whatever. Are we still having a sleepover at Robin's house? Of course. Come to my house at 6:30. Okay, no problem.
The end of part 1. Unmute, guys, and let them know. Did you hear it?
Yes. That's nice.
This is Layla. This is Jim. And Layla is the one that wrote The Mysterious Lighthouse. So next month, I invited them to come back and read part 2. So,
Yeah.
did you like? See, it's hard. Let me, 1 second so you can see everyone. All right. These are all the people that are on this show from around the world. We have people from England, and Zimkonto is just down the road in Windsor, but we have people from India and Greece and all over. Trinidad, Sint Maarten. So, okay. That was your special guest. All right. Thank you, guys.
Fantastic. Girls, so nice to see you. Please tell Uncle Rawl that he has to get in touch with me because I know 2 editors who are looking for work from students under 18. So you can pull that together and let's see, you can do just what we do, send our work out so more and more people can learn about it.
Okay.
Congratulations, girls.
Thank you for that, Marianne. Okay.
You're welcome, Rawl.
You guys to go now. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you for indulging them, guys. I really, really, really appreciate that. I knew you would have something to say, Marianne. But no, Layla, she loves to cook and she loves to write, and you know, anything to encourage them to write and perform. Kinney likes dancing and performing and that sort of thing. Their brother is big into football, but I think there's also a strong creative side in him as well. So, all right, let's continue on. So, up after Layla and Kinley, to Shara from the island of Sint Maarten. Are you still here? I know I saw her.
Hi, I'm here.
There she is. The mic, my friend. Good to see you again.
Hi, happy Sunday. I'm having some internet issues, so I hope it permits me.
Okay.
So I'm going to be reading from my book. My first book is called Deep. And I usually read about relationships and sex. I'm going to do something a little bit different today. Just a little bit different. So this poem is called Boom, and I wrote this almost 13 years ago. It went boom. Not surprisingly so. Explosions are sometimes a way of letting go or letting through the much needed light, quenching thirst or sufficing an appetite. So it went boom. And the walls shook while the neighbors listened, and the cheeks not on the exterior glistened with raindrops that spoke of a saddened day, raindrops that should have washed the pain away. But it went boom, leaving everything out in the open, all the wandering, pondering, and hoping. Sunshine seems unwilling to make an appearance, happiness and harmony nowhere in attendance, 'cause it went boom. Tantrums grew wings and flew. Emotions found means and grew. In this desert lacking sustenance, this black hole sucking dry all existence. Believe me when I say it went boom. But no sirens came to the rescue. No jaws of life were used to get through the hideous wreckage and the ferocious debris. No bandages were summoned for the burns of a third degree. Without warning, it went boom. And a modern prehistoric age commenced. No benefits to outweigh the cost since. It's darker than it ever was before, while thirst and hunger continue to get on course. It, unfortunately, went boom. That was boom. And then, thank you. So this one is Monstrous Ramblings. And this one is from the dark pages in my book. My book is a full color experience. So Monstrous Ramblings. I am not a monster. I love everyone, but I love those who hate me more. They call me a monster, and they have no idea what pains I have had to endure to reach this place. They see my face, and they see a monster. And most days I wish I could explain. But even if the words could flow like rains, their perception of me would remain the same. See, to them, I am a monster, because I killed the girl they loved so. The little girl who was afraid to grow. She didn't dare go beyond where they could reach, and now she must be impeached, because she knows the truth about them. They never loved her. It was all pretend. Fake love is real, realer than the monster they see in me. And now I am the enemy. I'd rather be a monster. I'm tired of trying to bridge a gap between the present and the past. And if I could, how long would it last? How long before a new bridge would have to be built and a new bitch would have to be killed? Please, I have no intention to ever stop growing, but the love I have for you will be continuously flowing. I wish you the best, but I cannot take you with me. I really do love you, but you have to respect my boundary, and it breaks my heart that you might never see. I am not a monster. So the last one is Forgive Me, and I wrote this for my son. I hope when you think back on your childhood, you see me as a mother who wished she could have done so much more for you, a mother who only wanted to give you the best of me, especially my sunshine. No one deserves it more than you. I really do hope you forgive me. For all the times my own pain was too much to bear, and I let my despair trickle down on my little king. I hope if I ever scarred you, and for whatever reason it barred you from my love and made you hate me, that one day you will find it in your heart to forgive me. See me as just a woman, an imperfect human, juggling the tribulations thrown at me, exhaustedly trotting down a path unshown to me, while trying to keep you safe and happy. Please forgive me. And that's it. Thank you, guys.
More and more I hear of your work, the more I want to hear more. Thank you so much. Very engaging. Very powerful, powerful work. Thank you so much.
You.
Thank you. And you see the internet held out for you. So
I love it.
give her another hand, guys. Give her another hand. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming in.
Guys.
Put you in. Yeah. Go ahead. Tell us about your book. You were going to show it again, yeah?
It was published in April. I did the publishing. I was my own publisher. and it officially launched on the 28th of May. And it's a testimony that darkness can be beautiful. It's a pretty unique journey from toxic love to unconditional love through self-love. And it really speaks to the resilience of humans.
Yeah. Brilliance, baby. Put your information in the chat so people can know how to reach out to you and find your stuff. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, from one island to the next, from the island of Sint Maarten, now we'll go to the island of Trinidad and Tobago and welcome Antje. Antje, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone.
There you are.
Crazy morning. Can't seem to settle down this morning. Too many things happening. Okay, so let me find. Okay. I'm going to read one. I think I read this here before, but let's see how this one goes. Okay, it's called The Fallen. It was actually written for my son. So let's see how it goes. The skies are crying for the fallen, heavy with the tears of mother. Black is the foreseen future, circumcised into unforgiven paths, ties that bind, fading as love's hunger propels. The color red blocking the strings. DNA cells are shoved together, unable to breathe. Rain does not quench the grief-stricken face of mother, falls like salt on open wounds. Seeing, not understanding the mysteries of life, burns all future dreams. How does mother not know the cries of her child? Yet, being mother, yearns to forgive, not forsake the child. Pain hidden that only those bonded can know. Mother reaches out to be snapped, degraded by rage, uneducated intolerance. The now too much to bear, letting the strings go. The time has come, no longer a child. Mother stands alone in the fallen rain with the prayer that the spirit of the waters will cleanse the world. The end. Okay. I'm gonna read one. This one is called Why Stay Silent? Alcoholism, innuendos, foul, explicit language, threats, or destruction of property. I have seen it all. Yet I remain silent. Yes, I stay. Not to encourage the behavior not being constant. Periods of grace where the human is released from the devil, the good nature shines through. Unexpected kindness where you wonder if it's the same person. You see the smiles, even share a joke. Periods where family and togetherness is everything. Finding beauty in simple acts of kindness. Then the devil takes back its form. Not that I didn't try to leave. I left many times. It didn't work. Was never left alone. I never fitted anywhere. So it didn't matter where I was. Excuses, I have heard it all. Returned many times for the sake of the children. Or so I thought. Not wanting them to live in a broken home where I came from. Return there because there I'm allowed to be me. Both admired for my talents and abused for it. Admired for being beautiful in the eyes of many. Being a workaholic. My cooking and my art abused for their own insecurities that my talents will attract people to love me. Narcissistical behavior is what it's called. Abused for, as you say, she too pretty to be with me, showing me off, and behind closed doors, a different story. Tears and prayers, finding comfort in the children. always felt like the single parent, doing things the best I knew with my unique circumstances, always strong. Yes, I've made mistakes, many lessons learned from them. Used to being alone, even in company. Being married was a way to be left alone, to fight off unwanted callers, a punishment for having a particular type of skin. The power of words beware. They came back to haunt you. Learned at a young age how powerful my words are. When you say something, it's going to happen. It does. Sometimes instantly, or sometimes after a while. Time measures differently according to the situation. In the silence, my tears and prayers are answered. Now you suffer in silence, not finding the words you used to abuse. Hands once powerful and destructive, now lifeless. The same ones you abused takes care of you. People laugh and call me crazy when I talk and make jokes about death and dying, but they haven't been in my shoes. I have seen it, lived through it, but only I know what I have been through. I have never let it touch the real me. You never had a hold on me, and that's what really bothered you. The end.
Yeah, give her a hand, guys. Give her a hand. Unmute and snap it, clap it, whoop it up. You know, your poetry is obviously, you know, it was autobiographical, but the courage to speak it and to write it and to write it in a way where you're observing your own stories is quite a gift. Thank you for that, Ange. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for the reminder of the good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful of life.
Yes, life is full of everything.
Full of
You have to
everything.
make the most of it.
Yeah, well done, well done, well done. Angie was our, I believe, was our August feature.
Yes.
Yes, August feature. So
Mhm.
Angie's August feature, and our upcoming reader was last month's feature. So I invite you to snap it up for Leah. Leah, you still with us?
Yes, I am.
The floor is yours, Leah.
Okay, and you know, thank you again for featuring me last month. It was my first feature. I have my first kind of live one coming up actually next Sunday in Peterborough, so I'm looking forward to that. I've been loving all the poetry I've been reading and or listening to and hearing tonight. It's really fantastic. I've changed the poem I intended to read like 2 or 3 times, but I was purposely going back into some of my older stuff. And I settled on a poem that was one of those that gets away from you, because we talked a lot about, you know, poets and why we write and things like that. And for me, it's the same as Kevin and Marianne. It's music that plays all the time. It you know, if it's powerful enough, it won't let me go until I've written it down or at least made notes. And sometimes I'll write a poem that will go somewhere that I didn't expect it to go, but you know, that has really kind of settled in once I get started writing, like a snowballing effect. And this one is based around the idea that we're always looking for something. And sometimes we miss what we're looking for while we're looking for it. So it's called Must Be Somewhere. Where is it? Honestly, not today. Where is that file? Hours of work down the drain, promotion, admiration, respect, out the window, really. And my past, finding the file is useless without my pass key. Building security may know me, but they won't let me in. Keys. Where did I see those last? Regret throwing that beeping thing out the window now, but the dog bark was setting it off at all hours. I don't know. I put them down after last night right next to my earrings. Now, where did they go? Oh, come on. My mother gave me those hideous things, and instead I wore them and insisted that I wore them last night. Maybe I'm not sorry to lose them, but not my keys. That tone. I know that tone. Losing it bit by bit, my own teeth grating, fighting losing my patience as well as my tone. Why can't they listen? Why can't they learn? All I want to do is help them pass their test, learn their text, feel a love of literature. Why? How did I lose their attention? How did I lose their respect? All I did was care. All I did was try to teach what they could learn. Where was I? Oh, yes, trying not to lose my voice. Just one stray thought, one missed chance. And it's almost impossible to find my way back. Maybe a night away, lose some time, lost in thoughts, lost in where I wanted to be instead of where I am before I lost my way. And the seat, the one I always choose, gone. How? I left my coat, left my book, conveniently moved when I stepped away just for a moment. So unfair, so inconvenient, rude. When did such a loss of manners happen? When did we lose our concern for treating others as we wish to be treated? It must be somewhere. I must have left it between the night and the morning, the will to fight for the dreams of my past, some little girl dreams, some a woman's wish. When did I lose my tongue to speak up for myself, for what is important to me, for what I don't want to lose or leave unattended? It must be somewhere. The memory of why the future looked so bright, so full of promise. I know I kept them next to the earrings, or the keys, or that beeping thing out the window with my mind. That means digging deep in the dirt beneath the window, hoping it's not buried with my heart and soul, which I'm sure I left somewhere safe when the battle to keep track got lost with the files and images, pictures of friends, lost, ideas and memories of love, lost. I'm still sure I'm just forgetting something simple. I'm sure they'll turn up. It's always the last place you look. Thank you.
In peace. What a brilliant observation of life. True, the mundane of. That's well done.
It really did kind of get away from me. It was just supposed to be mundane, lost my keys and that thing where you like freak out, you're trying to find something before you go to work.
Yeah.
And then it went somewhere totally different and came back to that, and it's all rolled up together. So that one was from my first book, Between Hindsight and Foresight.
Beautiful. Well done. Give her a hand, guys. Snap it up. Unmute, and let her hear the love, because you're all unmuted. Thank you so much.
Beautiful reading.
Thank you for being featured. I'm glad to hear you got another feature in person. So you have to tell me. We'll have to connect, and you'll tell me.
Well, I mean, I'm not the star of this particular show. It's just I have a 20-minute set amongst it, and I'm putting it in the chat now. That's where I keep all my links and access to all my stuff. But I always put the events that I've been in, like your lovely generous feature, and the one I'm going to be in next Sunday is the link to the information for that. It's in Peterborough. So if you live anywhere near Peterborough in the UK, do drop in.
Jump in and come support Lee and the other poets. So thank you so much once again. Thank you.
I mean, Jeff Cottrell will be there if any of you.
Yeah, Jeff is in town, so that's going to be.
Skylar J. Winter is the star of the bit that I'm going to be part of.
You're part of that show. Okay.
I am. Yeah. Gary keeps telling me that I need to not worry about sharing the stage with Skylar, and I keep not being convinced, but that's okay because I'll just do it anyway.
You need to stop worrying about sharing the stage with anyone. You can hold your own. You're a brilliant wordsmith. So I enjoy your words, and then waiting. Yeah, I'll shut up. She's just marvelous. She's brilliant. All right, let's continue on. Up next, the professor Ian.
Yeah.
Alerted friend, here you are. The mic is yours, my friend. The mic is yours.
I feel the same as Leah. So many of my poems, I started off going in one direction and ended up somewhere totally off the map there. So beautiful. I just got a couple. Thanks for squeezing me in, Roll, as well. Appreciate that. Oh, you're too kind. I just got a couple of these. Are two very recent, actually, just written this weekend. In fact, this one is actually still the ink is just about dried on the page. I haven't even had time to type it up yet. And I started writing a series of poems on the theme of Toad, or the Toad Diaries. I started off with one poem I just titled Toad, and I had a whole load of ideas. So this is, I think it's about the fifth one on this series that I've done. And this one's called Toad's 113th Dream. I don't know, I haven't counted them. I don't think Toad has either. It's just a random number I came up with. Sounded good. I call it a political allegory. From the hidden depths of secret forests, replete with ancient Germanic lore, Toad slumbers within the dark hollows of interminable dreams. Those sleepy basilisk eyes tremble with remembered reminiscences of murmuring rocks as tragic sirens whisper and sing mockingly into those hibernating ears of ambitions shipwrecked on the shores of feckless intentions, as vain beauty cries, the wind, oh, das Kimlik Kind, where have you gone, disappeared with autumn's mists, driven out by winter's hard reckoning, and age's ague begins to settle in. Where are your grand schemes harbored now, dashed to pieces, foundering in rough and darkened seas, seeking a sheltered anchorage, following a trail of crumbs that dissolved and sank on contact with reality, dead and buried with those fantasies of a land of cocaine, where the living's easy and where you can be king of all that you survey. And as Toad's eyes begin to flutter into wakefulness, once again, the flicker of pensioned off ambitions reappear with even fresher vigor, as Toad, oblivious to past failures, now looks to new conquests, still eagerly waiting to be crowned with his own imagined glittering diadem. Thanks. And this last one, second one, is only fairly short. And I've even already had one endorsement. Kemlin Tanbape, I just recently, a few minutes ago, commented on Facebook, said, loved waking up to this poem. So I'll settle for that. It's called Smile, a Friday poem. Friday poem, because I wrote it on Friday. Eyes look nicer when they're smiling, and even kinder still. In special cases, even more beautiful, like an invitation, a hospitable refuge, drawing even strangers in, attracted by the treasures that lie within. Take care of your inner thoughts, treat them well, as if they were written on your face, as anyone can see who can read the runes shaped by the lines that form contours across the bare palimpsest that is white clear each time you smile. Thank you.
Wow, Ian. Brilliant stuff. I run out of words to describe you to people when I talk about your poetry. It's beyond deep, it's beyond profound. It's just a rhythm. And then the way you describe events, where the schemes harbored now, like Just the phrasing, the way you think of these things. It's brilliant. Well done, my friend. Well done. Give him a big hand, guys. Give him a big, big, big hand. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, up next, there's two left. Thank you for sticking it out. Our buddy from all the way down to 4-1 here in Canada, Semkonto, the mic is yours, my friend. The mic is yours.
Thank you, everyone. And so enamored by Mercy Liwayo's humility, because Mercy is actually one of the greatest authors from my country, actually holds the prestigious and coveted NAMA Awards, National Arts Merit Awards for 2022. I've known Mercy ever since we were like 20 years ago when we were all trying to find our feet. So I'm so enamored in your writing, and thank you for the experience of knowing you. This poem that I'm going to perform is still untitled, but it goes this way. Pep talks in the ghetto are not usually pep talks, but trauma dumps. Towering giants brutally crumbling like sawdust upon their sons, because for years invisible hands have been chipping away at their own self-esteem. Their loose screws unraveling from limbs that have become accustomed to bringing hammers down upon steel. Sometimes they confuse that same steel for their own children's limbs. These drunken men who will bend to nobody's will but colonialism, chained to the same freedom train that never left the system, and the few times that it did, it ran over their own kids and had to be brought back to the station to clean out the blood and make it gleam again, while the speakers repeat the message to mourn in peace and then repeats the pain. I had friends as a child that were so afraid to go back home. Oh, so little did I know their skins were fire pits, and what I thought was just ashy skins through holes in their clothes was actually loud-mouthed drunken souls that only healed when they played with us, but that when they started walking home again, they filled afresh with pus. Now I know exactly why they never spoke much. We did not know why they withdrew from touch, so we left them out of tag teams. But if I had the means today, I would seek them with a Midas touch, turn their smiles to gold, because oh, how rich they laughter. Can you believe they actually laughed in paragraphs? It is a hard thing as a child to watch another child be sad. So together we prayed for change every chance that we had. Change for hot buns, change for ice cream, change for movies, change for dreams. But man is a different kind of misfit. We know when to change a tire, but if our own communities are losing air, we puncture their lungs some more, losing all desire to breathe as one. Then sit back and watch drunk fathers dump trauma upon the shaved heads of their sons. And from across the street, we watch and add on to the speech that pep talks in the ghetto are meant to be angry. Because God damn it, we are angry. Angry that we could be such happy people and yet the world see only our ugliness. So we start hammering away at any love that stammers into our day, walking past store mirrors, wanting our faces to change. Because sometimes the world teaches you that every inch of darkness is its own bout of pain. But oh, colonialism did a number system with our relatives. Some left for South Africa and came back as shimmering corpses that tell no single story of where they have been. And what you do not know is that this is the first time anyone applied anything to their skin, covering the knife scars that peer through the balm, looking calm, but you know their life was rough. Knowing they wanted it to stop because you can see the knife scars are not just a gang of rivers flowing to nowhere, but that there are parts in those knife scars where they trail off and disappear, causing a change in the tide. So all we were ever left with was leaning over their graves and throwing some change inside, and watching it land on rose petals and wishing those metal round pieces of miracles by them land on the other side. Thank you.
Unmute, guys, unmute, please. Give him some love here.
That was too powerful.
Yeah. I think Ian put it in here. Poetry comes to life when you recite. What was that? They laughed in paragraphs?
Fantastic.
Was that a line? Is that what they laugh in paragraphs? Or talk it? Yeah.
I say that because I was trying to explain that because I love poetry so much and I love reading so much. I love paragraphs, and they themselves laughed in paragraphs, which means that when they were laughing, I was reading them intimately.
Yeah. I love that line. I love that line. That speaks to who you are. That line, the power of it. Well done, brother. Well done. It's always a pleasure to hear your experiences through your words and your performance of those words. So thank you so much. Yeah, if you haven't already reached out to Zimkonto, please do. But I think everyone here is already a fan, and if Mercy came through because of you being here, and I'm so blessed then, because you keep opening doors of wonder for all of us in regards to not just your words, but how you touch our lives. So thank you for that, and that smile. Thank you, brother. And then we will end with the teacher, sage, the man of wisdom. Yeah, you may not take these words well. I don't care. I'm going to say them. I saved you for last, because if we're going to church on a Sunday, what a great way to spend a day, especially when you have time to grace our presence. I'm going to shut up and just say, ladies and gentlemen, I call to the mic, Lantern Carrier.
Thanks in order. So my very special thank you to the featured poet, Marianne. And of course, I'm a fan of Zimkonto. You've mentioned fans. The gracious hosting by yourself, Roll, and all my fellow poets, family, and avid listeners. My first piece is called Homage to the Light. She dries the copious tears spilling from my broken dreams, the heaviness of loneliness, the stains of deep remorse. Gently, she pats the roses covering the scars where thorns once sat enmeshed in a foliage of desires. You've done well, she whispers. The light that shines within has erased the darkness of a shadowed past. Rise up, my sweet, sweet angel. The brute of past regrets shall no more shine. The fragrance of the dawn is gleaming. I felt my shoulders breathe. My heart cried tears of joy, the soul now laughing with the sun. She kissed my wounds, no more the toil of suffering and despair, for I was born anew. The voice of promise sang, her bird of hope now perching on my newfound dreams of love divine, my lack of expectations. I bowed, paid homage to the light, paid homage to the light. Poem 2. Let's find it. Yeah, I think I'm there. They say I'm a poet. I'm the light of voice of the soul, a kindergarten songbird expressing itself in myriad ways according to the receptivity of its growth and consciousness. When the light of dawn awakes, when the sun catches this deity on the Elysian lap of paradise, I pray my words echo in your core, my spirit whispers in the magna of your being. I am right here, have walked only through the sunrise, to a realm that heaven has made ready for my respite. Yet my grandeur enchants like the scent of redolent roses. My laughter resonates in the hills and valleys afar. The throne of the beloved beckons and I must go, yet it's no farewell. but an awakening to the glories of Jerusalem. How can the sun not set when the day is waning? How will the willow waltz without the breeze? We are together as breath in breaths, the sound of silence amid sleep, the soaring eagle which will never dream that it can fly without feathers. Again, is its flight possible without the lapis lazuli of the perennial heavens? Love flies like the phoenix, a shimmering fire of longing, patient like the sunset, knowing that each day will pass. The quintessence of spirit is timeless and immortal, a light, a nameless emptiness which permeates all things, filling them up with the Tao of Jannah. Where am I not? The ray that dances in the horizon manifests itself in the cuteness of a child's smile. So too you will see my face, hear my songs in the morning's dew, feel my essence in the old photographs of pleasant memories. I am the sunlight weaving your charisma, the twinkling stars holding your gaze, even as we roam through the constellations. I am the moonlight flooding your heart with solace, and I smile lovingly as you cup your hands in prayer, chanting 1,000 I love yous to my delight. Didn't I agonize in the Garden of Gethsemane? Yet I rose again from an old rugged cross, ascended the darkness, even as Orion merged with the throbbing in your heart. The decay in my sepulchre is not the end of this quest, for I am an eternal journey. Lantern Carrier, thank you.
Unmute, guys, unmute.
Well,
Lantern, thank you.
Lantern.
Lantern, you never disappoint, my brother. You never disappoint. The words are very touching, very universal, spiritual, whatever you want. I think Rami would have liked you.
Rami?
Yeah. I think he would have liked you as a poet. So.
Was she here?
No. Rumi, not Rami. Not Rami. Rumi. Yeah.
Oh, yes,
Did I say
yes.
Rami? Rumi, yeah.
Rumi, yes.
Lantern Carrier, I have written a poem about you. Oh God, make me Lantern Carrier. Definitely I will decide the poem next week. Oh God, make me Lantern Carrier.
I'll come back and share it for sure. Definitely.
Definitely. Yeah, I will write the poem. Oh God, make me Lantern Carrier, then I will add other things.
Well, you see the effect you have on people, my friend.
Well, what can I say? I'm gracious. What can I say?
You're highly thought of and well regarded. So.
What is the meaning of London? London is small touch with kerosene and other oils. That is the London. That gives light, dim light to others.
Well, I hope you come back and read that poem about him because I'd love to hear it. Anyway, guys, we are at the end of our show. It's not quite 3 hours because we started a little bit later to let people come on. But I'm going to wrap it up. I just want to say thank you so much to all of you for participating. Today, we had Alexandra and Antje and Mercy and Richard and Prasanna, Scott, Kevin, my nieces, Lily and Kinley, Tashira, Angie, Leah, Ian, Somkonto, and Lantern that supported our feature, Marianne. What a brilliant gathering today. It's not just the 5 minutes that we wait around for. It's the other minutes of connecting with the other poets and those that come to support. It's not just Sundays or the third Sunday of every month. It's all the days that connects us, that lets us know we are in this together and we are one. It's not just a month. It's all the months that leads to a year that we could reflect upon with gratitude and humility to remember that we are in this together and we are experiencing the good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful. It's not just a year. This is the year that makes up a millennia and lets us know that we are priceless and we could never be destroyed. This avatar one day will pass, but the spirit that we are is not just human. It is just spirit and energy that flows through us all and flows in all of life. So it's not just the 5 minutes. It's not just the 20 minutes. It's everything that we do to remind us of this experience that we're having collectively yet individually, that shapes our perspective. So I remind you that even when you don't jive with someone's perspective, it is their perspective of this greater connection that we're all a part of. This is why it's beautiful to hear each other's stories through poetry, because it gets us to understand the perspective of life that we all have, that we all get to share. I thank you for this. I thank you for showing up today. Thank you for bringing your love of poetry, but bringing your love of humanity. Doesn't matter what your political affiliations are. It's a fact that we get to experience this life together. We get to share the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful of life together. I thank you all for indulging, for supporting, and for loving. Until next time, when we return with our good friend Richard as the feature for the month of November, I say be gentle with yourself so you can be gentle with others. I love you all. Have a blessed, blessed, blessed days until we connect again. Peace.
Peace.
Good
Om
night.
Shanti.
Stay inspired and inspire a child. One love.
Hi.
Hi.
See you guys.